David Mondrus, Mondrus, actually, sorry. It's a pleasure to have you on Liberty.me's podcast, whatever. I'm going to see you in about a week and a half in Miami, and we're going to do something pretty darn spectacular, aren't we?
Yes, yes, we are. I'm very excited.
So you and your wife are going to be married. Actually, I guess she is your wife, but we're going to destatize the wedding, right?
Right. Well, so it's very interesting. When I first met her, we both swore that we would never ever get married because marriages ruin relationships. And we lived together for 4 years, and it was fantastic. And then they told me, well, you have to move back to the States because you need to go and run this modeling company. Okay, I'm not doing it without her. And so fiance visa, and then we got married here. But it all had to get done very, very quickly and without a lot of, her family wasn't there. We didn't have a lot of friends. And so I promised myself that when I had an opportunity to do it better for her, I would take it. And this opportunity presented itself, and I can't think of anything better than to get married again in front of all of these people, you and Bruce Fenton and Andreas and Charlie and all those guys and Suzanne. It'll be awesome.
And it's the first ever wedding on the blockchain, if I'm right.
That's my understanding. That's correct.
Yeah.
And so we're going to burn zero point 0.1 BTC, and there's going to be a message, and the message is going to be, for better or worse, till death do us part, because the blockchain is forever.
No, when you say burn, just so we understand what you mean, you're spending a certain amount of Bitcoin in order to be able to message the blockchain.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So and the purpose of this is to basically timestamp the wedding and to make a public declaration in a way that doesn't involve civil courts or any third-party providers or institutions like this.
That's right, because the marriage licenses are currently in a single location throughout the world, so county courthouses, and they don't communicate with each other. So as an example, when we got married here in Palm Beach County, we then had to wait about a year before we traveled to Washington, D.C. and told the Philippine government that we were married. So legally, we were married in one county in the U.S., but not in her home country, right? It's a very pain in the butt kind of a thing. This way, it's instantaneous and it's forever. Can't run away from it.
So you're getting away from political jurisdictions also.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because why should the government have anything to say about who I marry or how? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, originally marriage licenses were created to keep whites from marrying blacks, right? We're beyond that at this point. I mean, we're now having gay marriage, and we're having polygamy is now legal in Utah. And my feeling is, if it's voluntary and it's mutual and it's between adults and it's honest, just be happy. That's all I care about.
Right. And it also foreshadows something very interesting about the blockchain and its capacity for actually administering and verifying and time-stamping contracts in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things that BitNation is going to do, and one of the things that I'm going to talk about later that same day, is deeds, right? So deeds and titles. So I'm Ukrainian. I was born in Kiev, and obviously we know there's a war there now. And the people who are in that war zone, and some of them are friends of mine, have some really nasty stories to tell about people stealing deeds and titles. You know, if the local county courthouse burns down, as happened in the American South post the Civil War, those records are lost. And they're lost forever. But if they're in the blockchain, you can't run away from them.
Now, this is not smart contracting yet. This is just titling. So how do you distinguish that from smart contracting?
Well, so to me, a marriage is not a contract. A marriage is a promise. A divorce is a contract. Having been through a divorce, my marriage certificate is one page. David married Joyce. My divorce contract is about yay thick, right? So we'll get to the divorce contracts later. For the moment, let's just enjoy the positive of being together forever. We'll deal with reality later.
So, but you do look forward to, now you're something of a Bitcoiner.
Sorry, I lost you there. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you're a Bitcoiner. You've been active in the space. Tell me what is BitNation?
So BitNation is first virtual nation. It's the providing of services typically provided by government on the blockchain in a distributed polycentric manner, polylaw. So you want to live a law where a man and a woman are married and that's it. Fine. They want to live a law where it's 4 people. That's fine. And they should be able to do that without interfering with each other. So we start with marriage contracts, then we do deeds and titles, and eventually it's the entire range of what services that are currently provided by government. And the idea here is if we build it and it's better, people will use it. And over time, it will get legal standing and it will be competition to the monopoly that is government. And it's monopolies that are the problem. Given monopolies competition, all of a sudden customer service gets better, the quality of the product gets better, and there's less violence involved in the process, and we have a more answerable government. And if we can just accomplish that, that's a big deal.
Are there space limitations on the blockchain that would prevent large-scale contracts from appearing there?
It depends on the technology we're using. My understanding is Ethereum currently has a speed problem we're working on, but it doesn't have to be one chain, right? I postulated that in the U.S. there would be 7,000 blockchains just for deeds, one for every county, right? The idea is that you have, Palm Beach County has 200,000 homes, 300,000 homes, whatever. If you're storing the pictures and the title and the deed and the transaction history, you could be looking at 10 megabytes per property. It's unrealistic to put that in one chain with everything. So yeah, we're thinking a lot chains.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. And this is an application of the blockchain that goes way beyond Bitcoin, or at least it's a different kind of thing. So why is Bitcoin involved in your having to use it in order to contract this marriage?
Well, by Bitcoin is the largest, the most secure chain with the largest penetration. It's the backbone, and that's fine. But it has its limitations, technological limitations that were built in or designed post-fact for a reason and a purpose. And it's difficult to get past those limitations. And obviously, people are having lots of conversations. You know, we have this problem with proof of work. Do we want to go to proof of stake? You know, Vitalik is working on a really great paper. I'm kind of looking over his shoulder, enjoying that a lot. But if the blockchains are dedicated to a purpose, then you can code them and design them to meet that purpose. And that's what happens technologically, and so that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now, do you have, we're going to do this on Sunday morning. Have you already written something for me to say, or am I going to improvise, or we're just going to have fun, or what are we going to do?
I was thinking we could just have fun, right? Just improvise. So the way that we want to do it is she'll come up, I'm going to get on one knee and give her the new engagement ring, because I've wanted to do that, and ask her if she wants to marry me. Maybe she says no, you know. Then we'll stand up, we'll turn to you, your thing, say I do. We're going to push, there's going to be a kiosk, a Bitcoin ATM specifically made for this. I'm going to push the button, that'll initiate the transaction, print the receipt, and then you may kiss the bride, and we can hold the QR code to the camera, and everybody can verify it.
This is so exciting. We're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of coverage for it. But I think it serves a real purpose. It's lovely for you, you know, to kind of get outside the state system this way. But also, it makes this really important point about what an amazing technology the blockchain really is. Every time I speak now, I dedicate some time to explaining the blockchain and why this is the great innovation of the 21st century.
Yep, I agree completely. I did an engagement for the South Florida Interactive Marketing Association a couple of weeks ago, and I only had about 10 minutes. But my last slide, and that'll be the last slide here as well, talks about how Bitcoin leads to compassion. And so it's a very simple line between transparent crypto ledgers and compassion. So transparent crypto ledgers allow transparency. Transparency creates fairness. Fairness compassion. And the talk that I give at 4 o'clock on Sunday walks that through the slides. Here's how we do that.
Well, one of the reasons that I'm not sure I entirely understand all the implications of smart contracting and the uses of the blockchain, David, but as I look back over technology over the last 20 years, when email first came out, people didn't understand why that was necessary, how it would be used, or what its purpose would be.
Right.
And then we saw the same thing happen with Bitcoin. 5 years ago, people were mystified. Even 18 months ago, people were just completely doubtful. And now here we are. We've got Wikipedia accepting it. We just got PayPal into the scene. We've got major corporations talking about moving their B2B contracted services to the blockchain. You can see where history is going.
Yep.
So for me, a lot of the smart contracting idea, which is sometimes called governance 2.0 or Bitcoin 2.0, that sort of thing, it's very exciting just to see where it's going to end up. And I'm kind of tired of doubting things just because I don't fully understand them. That's part of the purpose of the market, is to reveal uses for great technology over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to remember that it's not necessarily the best technology that wins. The best marketing wins often too, VHS versus Betamax. But the Bitcoin 2.0 technology creates an opportunity to decentralize pretty much everything. And so, there was a VC who I think came up with 84 different utilities of the blockchain. And you can imagine a world where your doorknob is connected to your wallet. You can sell your house through the wallet and the doorknob stops working. Now, granted, it's a long ways away, but the world is going through this fundamental shift. And we're one of the few generations, the first generation to see it, moving away from central hierarchical government to distributed government, from central communication to distributed communication. And so one of my papers talks about the three democratizations. The first one is the internet. You don't need a printing press. Now you have WordPress. It reduces the barrier to entry to nothing, and it makes it so much more easier for people to communicate and to gain consensus about, do we like this or not? And that's how society moves forward. The second one is 3D printing, which is absolutely revolutionary. I've been looking at it for 20 years, but I have a box of rings sitting under my desk where we went from a 3D CAD file directly to a physical object for sale in metal, with nothing in between, right? Gold and everything. So you can print under your desk. So that's revolutionary. Bitcoin is number 3, obviously. The ability to send money, to distribute consensus, to have databases that can't be hacked. The fourth one is energy production. And that's where government barriers fall. So imagine a little energy cube, like a dense energy cube sitting in your corner. Imagine a Tesla that produces enough power to actually lift the car up. Now imagine a million of those crossing a border in either direction. What are they going to do, shoot them all down?
Right. That's amazing. It's a beautiful vision. It's just lovely. I hope to be able to explain a little bit of this when I'm speaking in New York. I gave myself, for a New York event coming up in a few weeks, I gave myself the title, Your Life on the Blockchain. And one of the reasons I gave myself that title is that I want to force myself to really think hard about this and all the implications. Sometimes I do that with my own speeches, just to give myself a title that's a little out there for me, and but
sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. But listen, I'm really, first of all, let me just say to you, David, how honored I am that I get to be the one to officiate at this time.
I'm honored that you would do it. I mean, honestly.
I'm really, really excited about it. And I really look forward to seeing you at Coins in the Kingdom, which I think you can you register for now, right now, online.
Yep.
I think members of Liberty.me get the whole deal for $50, which is just crazy. So I'm real thrilled about this conference. I think we're going to have a big crowd, and we're certainly going to have a great time.
Absolutely, and everybody from the South Florida area is going to be there. All 3 meetups, all the developers, Tampa. So it'll be awesome. And one thing to add. Dr. Michael Frank will be giving the bride away.
Okay, yeah, that's really extraordinary.
Michael is the developer of NDCoin, and he has a PhD from MIT. He teaches at Florida State around there, and he's a great friend of ours. So, he'll substitute for the father.
I'm going to get my prettiest tie out and my best suit, and look forward to seeing you at Coins in the Kingdom, Dave. Wonderful to talk to you, my friend.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.